welcome to another episode of the show. Behind the mic stand, my name is Alex Babbitt, your host. You know that already. You're here for my guest. Now, this week's guest is very interesting to me because we don't cross paths very often. But every time we do, not only am I inspired by how I think this dude navigates the industry, also his love for anime, and it shows up in so many different medias. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Yedoye Travis, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, bro?
How you doing, bro?
Chilling, man.
Yo, thank you for having me, man. It's good to see you.
No problem, man. It's good to see you, too.
It's good to see you once every 6 months.
Legitimately, I see you like once every 6 months. It's crazy because I hit you up. Literally, I didn't want to tell you this, but yesterday, I was talking to my lady about Naruto, right? And Naruto is one of the few animes that I've seen, but in pieces.
Yeah.
So I didn't know the story. So what I do to cheat is I go on YouTube, type in storyline of this.
And you find my video.
Up, bro. And I was so mad, but then cool, because I just had to listen to you for 30 minutes explaining me Naruto's story.
You know what's a little bit annoying to me is at the time that I shot that video, I had not finished Naruto. I had not finished it. Somebody gave me all the cliff notes, and they wrote the script. I did all the copy editing and all that stuff, but like, I'm pronouncing names wrong.
Bro, every person you named, I was like, I don't know who that person is. It don't sound like what I've heard before.
Yeah, and looking back on it, I'm just like, this is not right. If I had finished the show, I would have not done it this way. But like,
the Naruto one for sure, I was watching, was like, I'm gonna just take your word for it.
Yeah. Well, you can see in the video, I'm saying plot points, and I'm just like, for real? This is what happened? No. This is not how I would have done this.
That can't sound right.
No, man. I don't like this at all. But like, you gotta put out content.
Yeah, bro.
You gotta put out that content, man.
Content is key.
Content is king.
Yeah, that's what. But I respect it because even when I did your podcast in the past, you know what I mean. I've had some friends of mine who just mutual friends who were fans of the content that you put out. And it was like, yo, the podcast that you had at the time, they said was their favorite podcast.
Word.
And they wrote me. It was like, yo, you got on my favorite podcast. Yo, you might be like, you are credit for me.
That's crazy.
It's like, you might be actually doing something, bro.
That's crazy. I feel like I have such a specific niche of fans. Like, I never get recognized in public until I'm in very specific contexts. Like Comic-Con, okay. Any anime convention. And then my old roommate texted me one time. He was like, yo, I just saw an Asian nigga on the basketball court crossing niggas up in a Dark Tank hoodie. It was I was just like,
but it's that specific. Asian nigga
playing basketball.
Crossing niggas.
Like he's good.
He's gotta, if he doesn't have those, like the
right, exactly. He's not one of mine. No.
If you just saw a random Asian dude cross people up, he ain't it.
No.
You
gotta have the merch.
Yeah, because you're one of those people that I didn't necessarily come up in stand-up with, but I feel like we're in similar, like how long you been doing stand-up?
10 years.
Okay, bam. I'm 11 going on 12, so we're the same thing.
Yeah, you just had to sum me on that?
Yeah, a little bit. Because you got fans wearing your merch. I ain't got.
Fair enough.
I ran out of merch. But we are in the same class, 1,000%. You know what I mean? So, although we didn't come up together, I do see and respect, because I remember also, to give you your props, you were one of the first comics who I would hear about from what I would consider the Comedy Central realms of New York City.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't know how to navigate, like, what's her name? The lady who she has a Monday show.
Who? Marianne Ways. Yeah.
The whole Marianne Ways class of comedy, like that kind.
Yeah.
I guess would you consider it the alt scene?
I guess so. It really depends how you define it. I feel like comedy is so niche now that it's really hard to define what alt is. I think if you compare it with like this is club versus I would absolutely call it that. Just it's an alternative venue, but like it depends if you call it, if you consider alternative like the venue or the style or whatever. I guess both of those. Yeah, it falls in those categories.
Because it's one of those things when you like. I just remember like it'd be like you, Josh Johnson. Trying to think of like some other comics who like I didn't come across, but they're like them niggas are winning. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how, I don't know where, but I know winners when I see them.
Yeah.
Fucking winner.
Yeah, those are comics that appear safe to white people.
No. I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Because every time I think that, I'll talk to the comic and they be the most militant people. Every comic you be like, yo, white people just love that fucking guy. You talk to him, you be like, yo, he's fucking honky.
It's funny because like it really, because I view myself that way, but it's sort of in like a
militant or appear safe to white people.
Both. In like a because I know how I appear to people. You know, I know where I went to school. I know I went to private school.
Okay.
I was in that A Better Chance program. I was up there with Issa Rae.
Oh shit!
You know, I was part of that. So like, I know.
You had to flex on me with that.
I don't consider it a flex, but no, like I know how I come off. Just like I know what my voice sounds like. I was inside a lot, so you know, and so I know how people approach me to a degree. And so I'm like, when I say that, I'm just like, I say it with a level of self-awareness where I'm just like. And I think the militancy in a lot of, to the degree that I have it and the degree that a lot of those other comics have it is in some ways a defense mechanism. A defense from being perceived in that way. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's a degree to which people like are really about it. Versus just like having that superficial level of it. Mm-hmm. But like, I think it really comes from just like, I don't want to be perceived that way, and I think that amount of attention tells me that I'm doing something wrong. It's the same thing I was just telling you with my podcast. It's like when white folks really start going hard for the shit you're doing and trying to get you to stay in the lane that you're in, you start to think about like, okay, why do you want me here so bad?
Y'all trying to trick me?
Y'all trying to trick me? I feel like I'm being hoodwinked right now. You start saying words like that. I've been led astray. What is going on right now? Like I had so many white women be like, we need more of what you're doing. Like you need to keep talking about this and keep doing what you. I'm just like. Nah. It is weird when white women agree with you. You like, yeah. I'm just like, no, something's up right now. Let me read some books. let me just. I need more knowledge. Yeah, let me just build up my little base so I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know?
I understand that for the sake of like take it to roots, and I'm gonna learn more about yours. Back in school, I used to deal with that with like, you know, still in the hood, but it's like, in the hood, you always have like a shit ton of white teachers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like, but you would also have the black teachers. I remember my white teachers would try to put me against some of my more like, just more hood homies. So I just was raised with manners. Like it's not, that's it.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I'm just polite. Hey, excuse me, thank you, blah, blah, blah. This, and one of my friends was like, yo, fuck out of here, this, that, and third. Yeah. But we would feel the same way about things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just how you express it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, whenever my friend would like act out, I remember my teacher was like, you need to be more like Alex. See? look how polite he is.
It's that shit. And meanwhile, they don't know that every time you walk away, you be like, this fucking bitch. I swear.
I be talking to him like, I hate this bitch too. Like, equally, bro.
Right. I'm just, you know, just when I decide to blow up, it'll be premeditated. It won't that's it.
And then when you turn on that, they're like, I don't see where this is coming from. You ain't been paying attention.
Right. It's like, we're the type of people that be on that Unabomber shit. like, he got a manifesto and all this shit. Like, I didn't know he felt this way. That Chris Dorner shit where you're just like, what is going on? I didn't know you was thinking that.
For years, I felt misunderstood.
Right. Exactly. I thought I could infiltrate the system and change it from the inside. Like, no.
Why?
No, bro.
This episode is sponsored by Black School Shooters.
Right. If you know one, let us know. If you know one.
Your boy. But like, it is a weird dynamic, man. Because it's not necessarily bad. Because I think, you know, to be honest, it's you're liked by most people. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm exclusively liked by white, black, Asian. I think everybody likes me a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, and it's fine. But do you ever find yourself wanting to be liked by any particular group of people?
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes from a lot of like insecurity from where you, like when you come up in a certain way as a black person, you kind of feel like having gone to private school, I went to school with mostly white people.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Atlanta, but I went to high school in Alabama. It was like this better chance program. They put you in private school, like underprivileged kids in private school. And they kind of like instill you with this mentality, like you're supposed to come back and save the hood. And then you come back and I'm like, the hood does not trust me. I'm suspicious. You know what I mean? Like, right, exactly. It's some like,
y'all didn't think this through.
Right, y'all didn't think about like the CIA exists and like, I look like I'm a part of it, dog. Like you know.
So what are you guys up to?
Yeah. Hey, how do you do, my fellow blacks? Like it's that, like you come back with that level of like disconnect. You know what I'm saying? And you feel like it has to be a more concerted effort to really reach out to your people, you know, and it feels like there's a level of insecurity, there's a level of like, not desperation, but I don't have a better word for it, but like I feel like Tyler the Creator feels like the second you get that black audience, you're just like vindicated, you know? Yeah. It feels like, you know, all these like little programs and things to like create a better life for black people. All they do is create distance from your community. You know what I'm saying? It's like all these little things, like whether it's a creative endeavor or whether it's like where you go to school, just like the path they try to set you on, it just creates distance between people that you grew up with.
Improve the community.
It tries to improve you. Yeah. Yeah.
Which it does, but it's only you.
It's only you. And you got to think about how to like reach back and, well, actually, I'll rephrase. It's like, you got to think about how to reframe it. So it's not a reaching back, where how do I not leave this context in the first place? How do I build all this up with me? You know what I'm saying? Because like, we got a whole creative landscape where the whole goal is you got to get out of the hood and then pump resources back into the hood, which is ultimately some like low-key colonial shit. You know, that's the same way white folks with like all these pictures of them and kids in Kenya and all this stuff.
Bunch of African kids.
Exactly. It's
7 kids.
Hey, what's up? It's the same shit. That's the same shit the baby is doing in Nigeria. Going out throwing money from his car and all this shit, and just like, bro.
Here you go, pimp.
Right.
Let's do this.
Right. This is how can I use this money? This is not. Could you throw some naira?
Writing it off.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Right. It's wild, like watching videos like that and seeing him throw out like bundles of money, bundles of like naira to Nigerian people. And I was just in Nigeria in August, and I'm like, that's like $200. There's 100 people in that crowd, bro. You are not doing what you think you're doing, bro.
Once they drive away, if someone's really hungry, they're fighting for that. Like it's
exactly, bro.
Fucked up over that bridge.
Yeah, all you're doing is stoking conflict between black people. You're just like,
oh shit.
Yeah,
that is interesting.
Yeah,
you have to do more than just throw some bread at some people because that doesn't help anybody.
It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't. It builds some excitement for that moment, and you get your little piece of content, and maybe there's the few people that don't see through what you're doing. Content is king. And you get that little contingency of people that don't see through what you're doing. They don't know the exchange rate from dollar to naira. And so they're just like, look at the baby. He's so generous. Look at our little man. Look at our little tiny man. Look at our Mr. Kirk. But they don't.
$1 million pesos.
Right.
That's
like
$200.
Hey, good luck, bro. You need help?
Yeah.
Right.
But I get that. And one, I think that's really good and poignant to say. Do you feel like the way you came up, like, because were you separated from your family or like when you
It was a boarding school, yeah.
Oh shit. So when coming back to your family from Alabama, was that like different for you too?
Oh yeah. I mean, it was like, I guess I want to ask how you mean when you say different. Difference
in the sense of like, how did you now start to navigate being around your family? Because they might not have had similar experiences at all.
Oh yeah.
No point of reference.
Yeah, I mean, like navigating my relationship with my dad especially was just like, felt like complete disconnect. You know, we still like kind of relate to each other on stuff, but there's like elements where, you know, I'm like having certain experiences, and to a degree, this is the first time he's kind of telling me about his life experience. But in a lot of ways, it's like to counteract what he thinks I'm experiencing in this white environment. It's like,
it's like about racism for the 40s.
Yeah, right. It's like I'm coming back and I'm telling them like interests that I have. Like I like jazz music, and that's the first time he told me he likes blues. But it was as a way to tell me I don't like jazz music.
Oh, I thought he was bonded.
No, it was like, I'm sure he thought it was. And to a degree it was. Like I started listening to a little bit of blues music, but it was in a way of like, okay, I guess white folks are putting you on to jazz, even though jazz is black music, but it's accepted by the white establishment. But like, I need to give you the version of black music that black people still fuck with, or like, or that white people abandoned in a way, unless you're Jack White or something like that. But like, it just felt like a very reactionary thing, as opposed to just like, I want to share something with my son.
Okay.
So it created that level of disconnect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, in a lot of ways, I feel like because of the demographics of the school I went to, my comedy's for Korean kids.
I mean, so there's a running joke with me and some of my friends, my boy Aaron behind the camera and stuff. He's been calling me Asian for a long time.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, I think Babbitt is secretly a Japanese man. Just because of like I also have like, I'm in the anime, big like, not only Power Rangers, but Super Sentai fan.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm into like all of that type of shit. And he's just like, and I really love like Asian food. Like for what was it, Christmas? Like the year before, my lady got me a sushi roller that I genuinely was looking up.
Wow.
I was like, I want this.
Wow.
So you know, a lot of my influences or just interests have been that Dragon Ball Z, all this other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's so interesting to hear a similar. Now, where we differ is like, I got a lot of support, like and I'd love to know this too. I have two older brothers who like really into anime and all this stuff, so they would often put me on to anime and stuff like that. Who was the support or the entry for a lot of the things you're into?
I mean, it was growing up on Toonami. That's it. It was like like I said, I was inside a lot growing up. I just watched Toonami after school, even though I technically was not supposed to. I grew up in a TV only on weekends house, but I watched.
They religious?
I was watching.
But I watched.
I was watching.
It wasn't even porn. It was just anime.
I was watching though. You think I wasn't watching, but I was watching.
I was watching. I was watching.
No, bro, I got very conscious of like, you know, when you turn the TV off but it's still hot.
Yeah. You trying to put some ice and some shit in the back.
And you can still hear that light hum. Where if you're like, if the room is dead quiet, you're just like, who had the TV on?
I remember I would do that for porn though. It would be TV on Last. This back when HBO had like the bullshit porn or whatever. But when you fucking 12, 13, that's everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Right.
And it would be on Cartoon Network, which was channel in New York. It was 33, or Toon Disney, which is 121. So HBO porn. Somebody coming.
Yep.
Cartoon Network immediately.
Yep.
You gotta be secretive, man.
You know what's wild is, in retrospect, I was not as careful about that. My dad had the cable box, and we had the blurry porn channel.
Yeah.
You know, the like I don't know if it was coming through like the radio or something like that. It was just like it had all the fuzz on it, and we're just watching that on the big screen at 2, 3 in the morning, just like, huh, what is this?
Wow, comfortable.
Yeah.
You will watch porn in public, but not anime in secret.
Not in. And it's funny because like when you watch anime, everybody assumes you watch hentai. Yeah. And I'm like, no, it's still anime. I can't watch that just like willy nilly like that. Give me some regular porn so I can be comfortable.
That's so you never got into hentai at all?
No, not really.
That's so crazy. No. I remember
to be fair, it comes up in the like ads and the like sidebars, so I've had my dick out and the hentai been on, but it wasn't on purpose.
You didn't go, man. I remember in high school, the one that was really popular was and this is gonna sound weird out of context, but I don't know. You remember Teen Titans?
Yeah, of course.
There was a Teen Titans one that like my friends were sharing. So I remember just being like, oh, what is that? You be intrigued at 13, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You seen the video?
No.
All right.
Absolutely.
What? Y'all just learned something?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Well, what videos did you share with your friends?
Not that one. I don't know, man. I feel like the second you start talking about like sending links around, I'm like, no, I don't watch that stuff.
Oh, what? I don't watch that stuff.
I don't watch that stuff.
That's when your nerd voice kicks in.
Yeah, right.
Not for me.
Not for me.
Just Jesus.
Just Jesus for me, thanks.
Were you like? Because I wonder this. Would you consider yourself dorky to a point, or now, like, you know what I mean? Did you have some Urkel complex?
I don't think so, honestly. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I sit in a very weird position because I was always into anime, but my brother was more into it than I was. So compared to the average person, yeah, absolutely. But in my house, I was also like the jock, I guess.
I play sports.
I played sports. I grew up playing. My brother and I played football together. I played like t-ball as a child, but like I grew up playing soccer. You know, it was an African household.
Okay, yeah. I didn't want to just assume Yedoye. Me and my lady literally had a conversation right before you came. She was like, well, Yedoye? Nah, this is like African or something.
Yep.
1000%.
Yep. So I played soccer growing up. Which is why I say it's a weird place, because it's a sport that like people think is like dorky or like what is the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to skirt around just saying gay, but like that's how people view it, and you know what I'm saying?
It's feminine in America because we treat football as the predominant sport.
Exactly. When like football is the one, aside CTE notwithstanding, it's one of the more like at least visually like protected sports. Like it's not rugby. Yeah. You're not running around tackling people with no pads, no helmet on. No. You know.
Even soccer, when you watch a game, it's like, yo,
it's a violent sport. Yeah. People get murdered on soccer fields. Like people, when's the last time you saw somebody get shot at a football game? You know?
There's too much security in a football game.
Exactly.
Soccer game is no security.
Exactly.
They just play soccer in the alleys. Like that's weird.
Right.
Train.
Yeah. Like I don't know, bro. It's like if you watch it like football, like on the streets of Brazil or something like that, you realize, oh, this shit is serious. Yeah. But like in America, it's a sport where like rich white kids get to play, even though it's the most like it's for poor people everywhere else in the world, because it doesn't require that much equipment. You know, you just need a ball and some like something space, something to replicate a goal, but you don't need all that equipment. But here somehow it's just a pipeline to like the Olympics.
White people,
man.
Took it over. It's fucking ridiculous. We just gotta take a quick commercial break to say white people. But So now that I understand that you came from an African background, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being a comedian now.
Yeah.
And a writer, because I feel like you write on a couple shows as well. Or you just write in general?
I write in general. I did write on a couple shows, but I write for my YouTube channel. I write for DC. I write for all types of, Yeah,
that's what it was. That's what I remember. You wrote for, what was it, a Batman comic?
Yeah. I
remember because I think I was reading the comic around the time when you were, I saw the promotion. And I was reading not the Killing Joke, the Three Jokers Batman one.
Right.
And it was around that same time. I was like, oh, that's just cool as fuck, bro.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Cause like, I grew up on Batman. That's like the one thing my family all love is like, my mom doesn't even like most like superhero shit like or anything that's not realistic, but she fucks with Batman.
That's hilarious.
It's weird. My mom is a Nigerian woman who only likes Italian movies, like mob movies, but then she likes Batman.
That's so odd.
It's very weird.
So Black Panther doesn't do it for him.
Doesn't do it for him. Batman, yeah. Batman, just like billionaire cop, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That's so crazy.
And so like I grew up on it in that way, but I wasn't like a head. I wasn't like a comic head, I wouldn't say. And so like getting that opportunity was just kind of like, y'all sure?
Me?
Yeah. Word?
How did you even navigate getting that gig?
Literally, like they had watched my anime channel and they were just like, cause I do like analysis of anime through like a political lens. And so the dude was just like, it seems like you got a good grip on story. So why don't you just give it a shot? And I did a one shot, which is just like a quick 10-page comic. So it's like, they don't really lose anything,
Yeah.
So I think once you reframe it in that way, like it's not really that a big a deal to them. You lose that sense that, oh, I'm gonna fuck up or I'm gonna do it bad. Like, it just becomes like another thing.
It's just a gig for, yes, it's a respected company.
Yeah.
But you're not like, oh my God, this is my dream to write for Batman.
Yeah, and you realize like, oh, this person came to me. I wasn't putting myself out trying to get seen by them or anything like that. They came to me for a reason. So like I can just do what I'm gonna do and that'll be it. That confidence, have you always had that? I don't even view it as confidence. I just view it as very pragmatic, just like, they're paying me $800. What am I stressing about? That's not even a full month's rent, like. She can still hit the fan. Exactly, and I think like, to answer your question in a more broad way, I feel like that's the mentality I apply to all of entertainment, all of comedy, everything, where I view it as just like, it's not doing as much for you as you think it is. So what are you stressing about? It's not going to save your life. It's almost morbid the way you're going, but I'm here. Well, it is. I think it is, but like in just a practical sense, I feel like people try to take advantage of this desire to be in it that you have. People try to say like, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier, is just like, don't you want to get out the hood? Don't you want to escape the life that we've created for you? So why don't you come participate in our entertainment industry that perpetuates all the same shit, but you don't have to be a part of it anymore. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I get to this place where I'm just like, I almost don't want to be in it. I need the money, but like, let me just do what I'm gonna do and not like go through all these like these hoops that you want me to go through. You don't care for all the milestones that they put. No, because like because when you think about it, like if you look at my resume, I've done a lot, and still like not right now, but I'm still in a position where in the next year I could be worried about rent again, and I think like, what did all this really do for me? And like, is this really putting me in a position where I'm secure for the rest of my life? And even the people that are like doing way better than me, the people that are millionaires, you know, it could go that same way for them too. And I just thought, I think I hit 30 and I started to really think about like what it's gonna, like what the rest of my life is gonna be like. And
it's
just
not
like,
being the dream.
it stopped being the dream and it started being like, okay, how do I keep this? And realize like the industry side of it is not how you keep it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you got to build something for yourself that's really sustainable. Cause I'm just like, am I just getting one thing after another just so I can get the next thing? Just so I can get another like, another badge or another chip, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it just gonna be chasing the dragon forever? Yeah. Cause I've done everything I wanted to do when I was a teenager. I got the Comedy Central special. I got the writing credits. I got all this stuff. But like, the bottom could still fall out. Yeah. And so when I think about it that way, I'm like, yo, fuck your little comic, bro. Fuck you. You know?
I'm mad that it took y'all this long.
Right. Like, what the fuck? You owe me. You know?
I've invested time, money, year at year.
Exactly. Like, you know, like, why should I be grateful for some shit that ultimately is predicated on shit being taken away from me in the first place?
That's a very interesting perspective to have towards it. Extremely.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people think that way or come to that like insight. Yeah. As you have.
Yeah, and I gotta stress, it's not an ego thing. It's really not an ego thing. It's really just like, you know, you like when you think about debt, how debt works. Mm-hmm. And people come to you like, what if you want to refinance that debt? You could like, we could take the weight off your shoulders for a couple of minutes, and then when you just picture somebody doing this motion, every time they say something to you, then it really just kind of like pulls the curtain back a little bit, and you're like, oh, I see what y'all are doing. I see what this is, and I can see my participation in it and the value of that.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
We've taken a quick commercial break, but I like that a lot, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Quick commercial break. Hey guys, what's up? Y'all know me, I'm Alex Babbitt. I'm just here to do a quick commercial break and tell you about some things we got going on. Check out my comedy albums, 9421 and Finally Defined. If you really enjoy comedy, I promise you'll enjoy these two albums, and we got a lot more comedy coming up. And even more so, follow Behind the Mic Stand at Behind the Mic Stand on Instagram and on YouTube. Like and subscribe. We love it so much, and we appreciate your constant support. Thank you, and let's get back to this episode. How do you navigate the joke-telling experience? How do you work these bits out, man?
How do I work them out? Mm-hmm. You know what? I want to say this like it's a revelation or something like that, but I'm sure other people feel this way. Like, I try to just go idea first before a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like maybe this is just when I was coming up in Atlanta, but it feels like a lot of people just have this mentality where we're just like, I got this joke, but I don't know how to make it work. And just like, okay, so it's not a joke.
You got words.
You got some words. You got a couple sentences. But I feel like the key for me to making the joke work in the first place is to have a cohesive idea behind it. You got to have a foundation. You know what I'm saying? Where it feels like comedy's kind of in a place right now where we all feel like it's just jokes, and it doesn't really have any weight to it. It doesn't mean anything. And obviously there are jokes like that where it's just like, this is just some silly shit. Yeah. But like, hilarious. Yeah. But like when people go into comedy trying to tackle like big life things that affect other people's lives, or your own life in a big groundbreaking kind of way, people kind of try to tackle it with just like, all right, this is a funny way to say this. This is a funny assemblage of words and phrases and all these things. And just like, no, bro, you gotta think about the idea you want to convey about this in the real world, and then frame it around that, build it around that. Cause like, and I say this because I just went on a whole thing about Chappelle on on Twitter, and that's who I think of when I think that. I'm just like, oh, you pulling what he had in that special was like, oh, I just pull jokes out of a fishbowl and I throw punchlines together like this. And it's like, all right, dog, but you talking about like people's lives. You talking about trans people. You talking about this and that. It was like, that's the shit you pull out of a fishbowl, dog.
Who put the words in the fishbowl? Is that your?
Well, it's not even that. It's just like, why do you think that's something to play around with? You know? Why do you think that's something so frivolous that you can throw? All right, trans people, and this other idea, it might be genocide. I don't know. Who knows?
Banana cream pie.
And you pull out 2 jokes. Let's throw banana cream pies at trans people on the street. Let's do that.
Genocide.
Right? Like, dog, no. You can't be that silly with it, man. You gotta.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Sounds hilarious the way you just it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
This is because that's how good I am. That's how good I am that I can make that work. But not everybody can do that. You see, not everybody's capable.
That's what Chappelle be saying.
Like, yeah, but
I do get it.
Right.
There's a lot of counter arguments.
There's a lot of counter arguments to it. You know what I'm saying? It's like. If you're talking about silly shit, then yeah, pull from wherever the fuck, pull away. If you're doing like Mitch Hedberg style jokes, you're talking about, I don't need a receipt for the donut. I just give me the donut. Then yeah, pull those premises out of a fishbowl. Do whatever you want. But like, you know,
for a particular culture.
For a particular culture and shit that has implications in the real world, I like.
Gravitas is a word.
Gravitas.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
I felt proud to say it out loud.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the point. It's like it holds weight.
It holds weight. Mm-hmm. And I think like, for me, it kind of devalues you saying you're the greatest stand-up to ever live, but also turning around and saying your words don't mean anything. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the greatest to ever be in this game. It'll be decades before another comedian reaches my level. But also, I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. Don't worry about what
those two things can't be true.
It can't be true, bro.
It's like Jordan saying, "Hey man, I'm the greatest ball player ever," but none of my points counted.
Exactly.
What?
Like,
hold on, bro.
Right. I was just street hooping the whole time. Like I was, you know, it's
fair argument.
Yeah. I mean, it just feels like, you know, what do words mean if that's where we're operating?
Yeah, that's how you try to pursue stand up from that point of view of like you're very cognitive of the words you use and the importance and the weight that your words hold on any platform. Yeah, absolutely. And I think like this shit doesn't have to hurt people. Mm-hmm. You know, and I say that, and to say more shit in the context of Chappelle, even I'll say like, because comics have this idea of like nobody's excluded, anybody can get it. Yeah, and I think that's true to a degree, but I think you got to reframe what that means. Like, rather than saying trans people as a whole can get these jokes. Like, being trans does not exclude you from criticism. Mm. Like, I'll talk shit about Caitlyn Jenner all I want because she murdered somebody. She hit somebody with her car, and she's like a rich, conservative weirdo. Like, a lot of things. Yeah, like you can't just ride out on your identity and say like, well, I'm trans and I can't be criticized because I'm a marginal. No, fuck that. Yeah. But also, to be a rich black man and say, nah, fuck these trans people as a whole, that's a different thing, you know what I'm saying? You come from a space of nuance, where it's like there's a lot of nuance in joke telling, and it's like, just be aware of it. And just be aware. Try your hardest to like deal with those. Yeah, just be aware of who's really in power. And to me, it's a black man trying to pretend black people are the only marginalized group of people. I think that's a dangerous thought. Mm. And I feel like there's a lot of humor to be pulled out of that people are just leaving on the table, you know? And that's where you come in? That's where I come in. Come on, bro. Yeah. I like that a lot because it you know, I'm a big fan of just the diversity of stand-up. I like stand-up as like, I look at stand-up as like a lady. That's my shorty. I love her. I don't care who she love. I love her. She might not love me every day.
Yep.
But I love this. I have the Forrest Gump level of love for comedy.
Right.
She could go sex work. I don't care what she's doing.
Right.
I love this. So it's like, seeing the way you take in comedy, I'm like, all right, that's interesting. Because everybody doesn't have that. A lot of people come from the space of like, oh, they just exclusively want to make people laugh.
Yeah, which I think is a fair perspective. I think that's totally fine. I just think like you can't be saying, oh, I just want to make people laugh, but at the same time, the jokes you're telling coincide with people putting into practice the shit you're saying. You know,
and even if you only want to make people laugh, and the result is people are starting to put shit into practice, you got to be aware. That's what your voice does.
Exactly. And even if your voice isn't doing it directly, you still on a path that's correlated with that.
Yeah.
And when people read about this history 10, 15, 100 years down the line, they're going to be like, well, shit, he was on the wrong side of history.
That's interesting.
You know? And I'm not trying to play like that.
It's a fire thing, man. I love to hear it because it's just so much to this, man. Like,
yeah,
I'm looking forward to, because here's something that I always think about when it comes to like graduate success with all of us. I think it is a quote from the Batman movies. It said, it was the one with Harvey Dent. It said, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yep.
That resonates with me so hard because I think even Chappelle, for his group, is like the Childish Gambino, is the artist.
Yeah.
Like he is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For them.
Yeah.
You live long enough and somehow you always become an old guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And to that, I will say like, maybe you were a villain to somebody the whole time.
That's fucking interesting as
shit. You know, they always got these storylines where like somebody was like
in the shadows, like, I hated you the whole time.
Exactly. That's the whole Joker story. Is like, dog, we're brothers. Yeah. We're brothers, but like you're the one that got the special treatment because you were rich.
Yeah.
You know, the same way or with the new Batman, the Riddler was like, I've been an orphan. I was really an orphan.
Yeah.
You were still in your little high tower this whole time.
A rich guy in the movies.
Yeah, and you got all the social capital from being an orphan, all this publicity, all this stuff. This is what an orphan really looks like.
Yeah.
You know?
Even in Batman and Bane, that was the theme in the trilogy.
Exactly.
He's like with that famous quote, you just adopted the dog. I was born in it.
Right.
Forced by it. By the time I saw the sun, I was a man.
Exactly.
You'd be like, God damn.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is I'm Bane to Chappelle's Batman.
You adopted the dog.
You merely adopted the dog.
You adopted anime.
I was born in it.
Born by it. That's wild funny, bro.
Right.
Oh shit! All right. It made me think. Cause I remember seeing you post this not too long ago, but it made my day. Where you said someone was roasting you and called you Childish Gambino's Waluigi, and I remember.
Oh yeah, Donald Glover's Luigi. Yeah,
yeah, and I remember thinking, wow, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
because you know what, someone told me I had villainous nostrils once. And oh God, to this day, and I never thought about it. I fucking do.
Yeah.
Niggas said,
yeah,
I got the nose of a person that will poison a water supply.
Right. One of those faces where if you just look down like this, suddenly you're a different person.
If you ever see me look up, even in interviews, I'm doing it up at all times.
Yeah.
Down, bro. I'm wild villainous.
Yeah, right.
It just looked like I had a motive.
Right. It just looked like, it's like, nice guy, and I'm about to build a pipeline through your neighborhood, bro.
For sure.
Right.
So like jokes like that just make my day, man.
Yeah.
I got one more question for you. Bro. Thank you again for doing this,
bro. Happy to be here, every episode. Yeah.
That camera right there is your camera.
Yes.
This is the point where if someone was watching this episode because they were a fan of you or a fan of your mindset, they come from your wavelength of thinking. Older, younger, it doesn't matter. and you want to give them a gem of inspiration, motivation, something to just, push them forward, what would it be?
Dog, just be creative across the board. You don't have to limit yourself to whatever creative endeavor that you're looking at right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up, I always wanted to do stand-up, but there are times when stand-up does not serve me creatively. Like, people got this habit online of saying like, oh, you're a comedian, just like stick to jokes or whatever. But you got to be a whole person. That's where the jokes come from, is you got to be a whole person. You got to do all the creative endeavors that you feel like doing. Like, I just started playing bass again and it feels great, And I feel like that's what makes us people, is that ability to be creative in every respect, whether it's comedically, musically, politically, everything, scientifically. And I feel like that goes a lot deeper than I can say in a couple of seconds, but, just take that, run with it. I feel like that's important,
That's dope. Come on.
Yeah.
I feel like the way, like you said at the beginning, your audience is very specific. So I feel like also the way you speak is so specific.
Yeah.
Whoever that needs to go to is gonna get it.
Yeah.
Fucking get it.
Be like, oh shit, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm picking up the bass right now.
I'm picking up the bass right now, and I'm gonna overthrow a government.
Oh man, This episode is sponsored by Manifestos. Ladies and gentlemen, let me thank my guests one more time, and I thank y'all for watching this episode. I appreciate y'all. See you next time. Peace. Hey guys, thank y'all for watching Behind the Mic Stand. If y'all enjoyed it, as I think you did, because you made it to the end, like, subscribe, make sure you hit that notification button so you hear the subscriptions and shit. You know how it works. Just like it. Stop skipping this part and do it right now. What? Somewhere right here. I think it's right here.